I'm sure a lot of you saw this. If not, there was a mass casualty event at a concert in Houston on Friday night. 8 people were killed and dozens more were injured when crowds surged, crushing fans, trampling others at rapper Travis Scott's Astroworld festival. During the concert, some fans attempted to get the attention of staff, begging them to stop the show. She's saying someone's dead down there, someone's dead down there. In another video posted, you can see emergency personnel helping someone while Travis Scott continued to perform. Travis released a video statement right after the tragedy. Let's take a look at what he said.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening. My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience.
Kylie Jenner was also at the show with her 3-year-old daughter, Stormy. In a statement, Kylie said, quote, "I want to make it clear, we were not aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would have continued filming or performing." Now, at one point during the show, Travis did stop, seemed to react to an ambulance that you can see there, trying to get through to the crowd, but then he continued to perform. Now, there are reports that say the show went on for nearly 40 minutes while police and firefighters responded to the emergency. So let's just take a moment for the 8 people that died instead of rushing into like who to blame. That's a huge loss at a concert. No one should ever feel fearful at a concert. What do you guys think is responsible? Who do you think is responsible? What are your thoughts, Al?
It's tough. You know, I know people are going at Travis Scott because he's the person that's on the stage, but we have to remember that this has happened before. We had the White Snake tragedy in 2003, where I believe there were 100 fatalities. You know, there was a Who concert in 1979, 11 people died. The Woodstock reboot in 1999.
3 people died.
Yeah, and there was also sexual assaults, looting, and over 1,000 injuries. So whenever you have a lot of people in a confined space, and let's keep it 100, those people are almost to a man and woman on some kind of performance enhancing substance. This is going to happen from time to time. I don't know if this is on Travis Scott as a performer because he's contractually there to perform, but there are people in place that should be there, security, paramedics that should be ready to respond, and I feel like they dropped the ball.
Well, I feel like everyone has to work together, you know, concert promoters with security, with the artists. Everyone has to have the same messaging. You brought up the example of the 100 people perishing during the White Snake concert.
Great White Snake.
That was because protocol was ignored. And when you have
400 people in a 250 people venue.
Well, but also the pyrotechnics, like they ignored what the safety measures were. So anytime you have one part of this entire chain that's not going with the program in terms of what safety measures should be, that's problematic. And I think altogether, people share a joint responsibility in anything that happens at a show that they have their name on. People are bringing up the fact that I think the big problem is Travis has been arrested twice.
Correct.
For ignoring or
Correct.
telling fans to ignore security. And I don't know if any of you have ever gone to a concert where an artist has said that, but like it doesn't matter where your seat is at that point. I've been in that position and it was quite alarming.
Let me show really quick the promo video to show you that this is the promotional video for Astroworld, okay? And we want to have you look at this to see if you think this also encourages some of the mayhem that Erica's talking about. He was arrested, Travis Scott, in 2015, then 2017. He has this whole aesthetic about rebellion, pushing through the guardrails. He seems to want that at his concerts. And here is a video that went viral yesterday of what I think should have happened. This is Lincoln Park stopping a show when one person was on the ground that they could see. Take a look at this video.
Hey, yo, hold up. We got a little problem up here.
Pick him up right
Everybody
now.
up. We gotta look out for safety first, for real. Nobody gets hurt.
When someone falls, what do? That's right, people.
Okay, so I'm not trying to like bash Travis Scott. There's more than one person involved, including that camera guy, security. But at what point do you say people are dead? There's video of him rapping and there's someone unconscious 50 feet away. At one point in your own humanity, do you say like, oh my God, there's been a problem here? I'm not putting it all on him, but if you were performing and something like that happened, would you stop?
Well, that's what's so strange about this, Erica. You were talking about protocol being in place. I have performed on cruise ships. I've performed in large venues, and they tell you ahead of time if somebody's being a problem. Security will come get them. They'll give you a code phrase like, "Hey, this guy needs a cup of coffee." That lets them know, and that way you can keep the show going. Because also we have to remember that if the show stops with 50,000 people, that could cause a riot too. And so we're kind of in this situation where we're, in trouble if we do and in trouble if we don't. I don't know if I can say the D word. So, those are my thoughts. Eric, I want to hear from you.
Well, I think, the Lincoln Park example is definitely hindsight 2020. Obviously, we're going to be seeing this, and I hope that we see this more when it comes to large groups, making sure that we're at least looking out for one another and not trampling each other. And also, just to be clear, too, from a lot of the eyewitness testimony, there was so little room that trampling was the only way that some people could get out. They were talking about how if you put your arms up in the air, you weren't able to put them back down. That's how
they said you were drowning in people.
Sardined you are. And people bring up examples like Beyonce's concert. There were some issues of people passing out, or there was an issue of someone, and we're talking about like maybe one or two, and they refused because people were pushing forward. They refused to even start the show.
Wow.
So I do think that, the artist does have a lot of power there. But in terms of that example with Lincoln Park, that should be something that we should have always seen. But now it's very high alert time.
Very true. All right. As we mentioned, 8 people did die. Here's what we know about the victims.
And it was Great White, not
Great White.
Snake.
Yeah, Great White. That's
Sorry,
right.
White Snake.
Yes.
Great band.
All right. The range and age of those victims were from 14 to 27. 14. One young woman, Brianna Rodriguez, was 16 years old, and her parents shared on her GoFundMe page that she loved to dance. We don't yet know the specific causes of death, but with underage children among the dead and injured, there are some questions about whether it's safe for parents to leave their children unsupervised at these giant festivals.
It's not.
It's not safe.
It's not safe. And look, as a parent, I have to always decide the safety, the risk versus reward, because I can't keep my child in a bubble either, Eric. I have to let them go out and be part of this world, even if we're baby stepping it. But when I do send my daughter or my son to his or her first concert, I'm not going to sleep that night because I know what happens because I've been at concerts. So I know what's going down.
Yeah, this is so
sad.
It's
like
it's very
next
nuanced.
level.
Yeah.
It's very next level.
Large groups of people acting unpredictably in a confined space.
But there has to be somebody in charge to say stop. And they went to security, cameraman, Travis Scott. Ambulances were literally in Kylie Jenner's video. How come no one said stop? Stop the show. There's dead people.
I understand. I get it.
I know.
But I'm
not saying this on you.
A lot of these things are very poorly coordinated as well. Like when you watch the documentary on the Woodstock, and you'll see people didn't know what to do. When you don't have plans in place for things going wrong, this is what happens. And
apparently the head of security did talk to the band and security to say, this is how a crowd surges. This is how you can get trampled. This can happen to the barricades. They were warned. They were warned.